Okay, so this episode is all about your karma. And karma is something that a lot of people think is some sort of retribution. You did something horrible to somebody, and now that somebody in a new lifetime or even in this lifetime is going to do it to you. So they become the perpetrator and you become the victim. Or something else will happen that is reminiscent of that horrible thing that you did, and you feel like that karma has come to bite you in the rear end. So I'm going to tell you that from my perspective, this all is false, and I'm going to further talk about how karma is different than that and how you can release it very quickly. So stay tuned to hear more. This is Anastasia. I used to be a physics professor specializing in vibrational and quantum physics. After recovering from a serious illness using energy healing on myself, the calling to heal became so strong that I had to quit my 40-year research career. I replaced my 6-figure professor salary within 5 months using a simple but not easy 3-step system that I worked out to grow my healing practice. Now I help other healers grow their practices, whether they're just starting or already have a practice, with this same 3-step system. I'm all about helping you too. Listen in to learn more. I'm so happy you're back, and today, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about karma, your karma, and how to release the karma that is harming you right now. And this karma is in relationships. So when you come onto this planet, when you're born, you agree to live out some sort of constellation with a group of people. And it may be something that happened in this lifetime or something that happened in a previous lifetime, but you somewhere tacitly agree to it. So here's the first point about karma. It is completely voluntary. You can opt out of it anytime, right? You may not learn the lesson that you meant to learn, or you have learned it and you've decided that you've had enough of it. And some relationships with people are kind of toxic, and you can also release that. So I've talked about different things. There's a tickle here. I've talked about different things that happen in relationships. So I've talked about calling all your energy back. I've talked about releasing the cords of energy exchange that you have with people. And I've also talked about rewriting your contracts and agreements. And so karma is a little bit like a contract and agreement, but it isn't really. A contract and agreement is a current relationship, and it is your kind of rules of engagement, where karma is something that you are living out, right? It could be not just a rule of engagement, but it could also be a constellation, right? It could be in a previous lifetime you were the child and someone was the mother, and now they're the child and you're the mother. That's a constellation. So sometimes this karmic situation is unpleasant. Like it's not unpleasant to be someone's child or someone's mother when vice versa, or father when vice versa. It was different in a previous lifetime, right? But now a karmic interaction can be harmful, especially if that person is toxic to you and it is harming your health and you're not able to live out this lifetime the way that you meant to live it out. So the first step, of course, is recognizing that you've got that with somebody. So the fastest way to complete this is to actually energetically complete the karma, as if you've done all of the steps necessary to complete this constellation with that person. So, for example, if you are 40 years old and you still have issues with your mom, right? And you've done all the other steps, clearing, cleaned up that energy exchange, collected yours back, gave her yours back. And I'm talking about moms because my big bugaboo in my lifetime was my mom, right? So we came to terms and we parted happily when she passed away. It was a good relationship at the end, and all of that got solved. And the same thing with my sister. My sister also had issues with our mom, and she said she had no unfinished business with her, which is really awesome, right? And it doesn't mean that it wasn't painful to get to that point. It could have been, but we are both much stronger adult women having done that, right? So in previous lifetime, our mother might have been, her or my child. We don't know that. I could ask, I'm getting that it is her child, not mine. Right? And in this lifetime, my sister has no children of her own. So your karma is that constellation that you agreed to, and also how that, what the engagement, what the rules were, right? And you may be done. So what I'm saying is you may be 40 years old, you're a card-carrying adult, you have decided that, mom's usefulness as being a mom is over. She may be even falling a little bit into dementia or having her own issues that, her own anger issues that she's unable to control. And you're ready to let that all go. It also may be with a current partner or a former partner, husband, business partner, really good friend, however that is. So by completing completing that karmic circle, right? By completing the karma and releasing it into the earth, that helps you move forward with ease and grace rather than struggle. So you may have this struggle of trying to move past, let's say, I think 40 years old is kind of like that age in which people that have had dysfunctional relationships with their parents or even dysfunctional relationships with their partners, husband, wife, business partner, that's the age in which you want to solve it because you've just about had enough. You want to be able to feel confident and healthy in your body again. So what I mean by completing the karma is you can energetically complete it. I go through a little process by which you imagine that person energetically sitting near you, and you have a karmic energy rose or a hole in the ground in which you complete that karma symbolically. As you complete the karma symbolically, like you close the loop on that karma, right? You came into life now, and now you're completing that the karmic circle, and now you've completed it and closed it and release it into the earth so the earth can take it and recycle it, redistribute it, transform and transmute it so it is no longer in your body, right? So that karmic agreement is gone. I've had people come to me that have certain illnesses, for example, and they say it's just karma, right? He comes from a culture that strongly believes in past lives and karma, and he says, it's just karma, I have no escape. And I said, well, you can voluntarily let it go, right? And agree to release it. And this is the process, right? Is by completing a cycle. You may even use a journal to write it down, decide what that karmic relationship with that person is. It helps to define it, right? You don't need to define it, but it helps to define it. And once you define it, you can start journaling about it. in ways that you can let it go because you've learned the lesson that you needed to with that person, and now it's becoming detrimental and painful for you. And that's the time to let those old relationships go, right? And who knows, sometimes, because I've done this with my exes, for example, and I'm really good friends with my children's dad, who is an ex, has been an ex since 1994, and we are on a very good relationship, but I cleaned out all of that old energy that was between him and me, and now we're on good terms, but different terms. We're friends, but we're not intimate in the same way. And I don't feel the need to prove anything to him, to solve anything with him, but just that he's my children's dad and he's also my grandchildren's grandfather. And he's a good guy, right? He's been remarried a couple of times since we split, but he's pretty much a good guy. He just has issues that don't mesh with my issues, right? So by cleaning that karma up, you may also find out that your current or your past relationships that were toxic transform. So this is a transformative energy exercise that you can do. You can always go to scientifichealer.com/relationship, and there is a karmic clearing within that, and it's free, right? There are 5 steps to the relationship healing, and you go through each of the steps, and the karmic clearing is the last step in the process, and that helps you. That's the brief clearing. There are another 10 or so clearings that can be done, and I'm going to go through and describe all of those in the next videos. So I hope that was helpful today, that number 1, karma is voluntary. Number 2, it's an energetic agreement between you and other people and the constellation that you have with them. And number 3, that clearing the old karma up is, as I said, it's voluntary, and clearing the old karma up can transform your past and your current relationships. So you'll find out that it's almost magical. So I hope that was helpful for you today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to listen in. If you found this message helpful, please help spread the word by giving the broadcast a thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. For further training on healing and growing your healing business using my 3-step system, go to www.highpaidhealers.com, and I'll see you in the next video.